Okay, so part C to this question. Oh, I need my equation again. So what was it? C is equal to 0.1 x squared minus 20x plus 1200. Okay. How much is the startup cost? This is the easy one. Well, the startup cost, if we know our parabola looks something like this, well, the startup cost uh, happens before you even make anything, when, let's say, no items have been made, are made. Okay, so the startup cost is how much money did it cost to even set up your factory, your equipment, your employees, all that stuff. How much did it actually cost to start up your company before you even pressed the start button to make one item? In other words, what's my vertical intercept? So I want to find my, now we usually deal with x and y's, but this equation is given in terms of x and c's. So I'm not looking for my y-intercept, I'm looking for my c-intercept. And how do I do that? Well, I set x equal to 0. And away we go. So c is equal to 0.1 times 0 squared plus, minus 0.1 x squared minus 20 times 0. That should also be getting carried away here. This should also be a 0. And then plus 1200. So my startup cost, 0, 0, 1200. Bang, done. Therefore, the startup cost is $1,200. Done. So when you're going through these kinds of questions, a couple things to be aware of. One, not that you have to spend a lot of time thinking about this, but just make a quick note and just actually consciously recognize what form is the equation in. In this case, it's standard. We've gone through problems where it's actually nicer if it's in vertex. So when you're going through these questions, ask yourself about what is the question asking versus what have I usually been finding when dealing with quadratics. And usually we've been looking for things like the vertical intercept or the y-intercept and the horizontal intercept or the x-intercept. So the intercepts are things that we have been finding many, many times given a quadratic equation. So when you read a question, ask yourself, what's it actually looking for? In this case, we wanted to find, I guess, not necessarily x-intercepts, but solutions to a quadratic equation like this, solutions to a quadratic equation for part B, which is kind of like intercepts. In question A, well, that is actually dealing with the characteristic of the vertex. So again, ask yourself, okay, given this question, it's probably going to have to do with some kind of a characteristic or a key feature of a parabola, and which one is it? In this case, the vertex. C, in this case, the vertical intercept. So when you're going through applications of quadratics, make note of which form the equation is in, and then look at the question to figure out which piece of information is it asking for and how does that relate to a characteristic of a quadratic. Is it dealing with an intercept? Is it dealing with like a specific value, like in this case 400? Is it dealing with vertex or a specific cost or a specific number of items made? Just realize that all these questions are usually geared towards using the equation and finding some kind of a characteristic that's a key feature of all the things that we've been looking for with quadratics. So there you go. There's the rest of section 0.5 on applications. When you go through your homework, think about those things. Do I want to be in vertex form? Do I want to be in standard form? Is one easier? Do I have to be in one or the other, or can I work in both? And what am I actually trying to find? And also, remember your let statements for word problems, and remember your concluding statements with problems.